Hey everyone, welcome to The Word on the Street Is with Michael and Gabby, where we mention it all about your favorite Bravo celebrities and the shows they star in.
We are so excited to have a wonderful guest, a fellow Bravoholic, Dylan Hafer. Hey, Dylan.
Hi, Gabby. Hi, Michael. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining.
We are so excited to have Dylan on our podcast. He is a content creator for two of the funniest accounts, in my opinion, on Instagram. The Betches account, that's Betches with an E, and then also Bravo by Betches. And then he recently launched a new podcast called Pop Alarm.
Yeah, fun times. Love talking about Bravo. Love talking about all things pop culture. And I know you guys are obviously the biggest Bravo fans. So,
Yeah, we're obsessed. I was shook when I got featured on the Bravo by Betches for Halloween. That was like my highlight.
yes, I didn't even think about, I feel like before last year, I didn't realize that people did like Bravo Halloween costumes. And then that day, I'm like, oh my God, like everybody looks so good. I feel like it was a missed opportunity for me.
I know, I never thought about it. I'm like, wait, this would be really good. I could definitely do Rinna.
And then I recently dressed up as Kim Zolciak circa Atlanta season 1 reunion.
Oh my God, the yellow blouse.
Yes. I was getting ready and I was like, oh my gosh, I look like a concierge at Best Western. It was so funny.
It's crazy to look back at those early reunions and see like it was a completely different ball game. You know, like Jill in her t-shirt, like people just wearing like cocktail dresses, like we've come such a long way and the reunion fashion really makes it clear.
Yeah, it used to be so chill and now it's like who's wearing what, like we have to know.
When Danielle Staub showed up in that like sparkly miniskirt and a white tank top, like iconic. She looked great.
Oh my gosh, Dylan, you have made so many funny memes and TikToks about that exact outfit. Like, I know you love that.
Because it's just like it looks like any old woman is just like going to the club, you know, gonna have some drinks at the casino or something. Like that's just Danielle's everyday outfit, and you can tell.
Yeah.
It's very fitting for her.
We wanted to have Dylan share his Bravo palette with us. Those of you who have been listening to The Word on the Street is know that we love having our first time guests share their Bravo palette. So, Dylan, if you could share with us your top 5 favorite top 5 favorite Real Housewives. It can be in a particular order or not. They can also be past and present.
Okay, mine are in no particular order because I was not you know, I was making tough decisions already. So my first is Karen Huger. Um I just think she always has the best comebacks. I think she's hilarious even when she's trying not to be. And I also love her style journey and particularly her hair journey. My second is Garcelle. I have really been loving Garcelle this season on Beverly Hills. I think she has a great attitude. I think she's beautiful inside and out. And I love that she is like holding Rinna's feet to the fire a little bit this season because I don't think we've seen somebody really do that in a long time.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, my number 3 is Sonia, which is like a classic. I feel like Sonia is like if Sonia is not one of your favorite housewives, that's just like strange. And then I after that I have Sheree, who is also just one of the funniest people I think, and I really hope she comes back next season. And then I finished off with Dolores because I think she's a really good anchor for the Jersey cast, and I love her friendship with Teresa.
That's a good list. Sheree does not get the recognition she deserves.
Totally.
Yeah, we love Sheree. We're like big Sheree stans over here.
I feel like Sheree suffered from not she was like on the show obviously in the beginning, but then when she left was like some of the biggest seasons, like when Kenya and Portia came and like some of the most like iconic seasons she wasn't there for. So then like if you weren't watching from the beginning, I feel like you don't have the appreciation. But I just think she like is a great presence for the group, and I think she's like a little bit shameless, which is a good quality in a Real Housewife because you know somebody like you know a Portia or a Cynthia, like they're always going to be more concerned with like how they're coming across, and I think Sheree's just like, where do you need me? What do you need me to do? I'll do it.
Yeah,
The
she's
bone collector.
our bone
Yes.
collecting queen.
And I want to see Tyrone, Prison Bay, now that he's
Yeah.
out. Apparently they're doing long distance because he's on house arrest in Pennsylvania.
Oh my God, that would be such a good storyline.
I know.
Oh, I didn't realize that like he was still under house arrest, even being out of prison.
Yeah, I don't know all the specifics, but I guess like if you get like released early, I think he was released early maybe because of COVID. So like he's on like a supervised release or something as like a condition of whatever. I can only handle so many legal details, and like Erica and Jen Shaw it's like
Yeah,
my limit.
I'm so confused by all of it. So
I know. I know.
Well, on that note of naughty housewives, Dylan, do you want to share your 5 least housewives with us?
Yeah, I'm more nervous for this, but okay, my first is Danielle Staub, just because I'm scared of her, and I feel like if I was to meet a housewife in real life, the one who is most likely to be like mean to me is Danielle. Just very scared for my safety. Also Aviva, I just found her unpleasant to watch. She gave us some good moments, but she's not somebody that I would like to have back. I have Vicky. Like, I feel conflicted about Vicky because she did give us so much, but in the present tense, I don't need more Vicky. Like, I would love to have Tamara come back, but Vicky for me is like tired.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Clipped.
take them back ever.
Okay, and then this is controversial, but I said Monique Samuels just because I liked her for a time, but I just think her leaving the show was like the best possible thing to happen because I am loving the vibe this season. I feel like everyone has actually moved on, and I think if Monique had stayed on the show, I think it would have been impossible to do that. So I don't dislike Monique, but I think she was one of the housewives that I really felt needed to leave. And then for my number 5, I have the pairing of Brandy Redmond and Stephanie. Just because I think at one point I enjoyed their presence a lot, but the last couple seasons I think it got a little stale, and I think Stephanie gets a weird free pass on being boring because she's like nice and pretty. And I just think it seems unlikely that they're coming back, and I think that's a good direction for the show.
Yeah, I completely agree with the last 2 things you said. I think Brandy and Stephanie, they needed to go. If somebody says that's their favorite Bravo friendship, I'm like, red flag. And then I think it was really solid for Monique to go. I didn't like her as much as everyone else did. I'm low-key a Candace stan, which is also controversial, but I think this season might even be better than last season just because it's not that dark like Monique Candace drama. I think it's a really good vibe.
Totally. Like I love when there's, a big scandal on Housewives, or there's, a really complex storyline. Like I think those are some of the most interesting seasons. And it was a great season, but by the end of it, I just felt so like drained from watching it and talking about it and hearing everyone else's, reactions and arguing about it. And it just got so intense. And this season already, I'm like, yes, Karen and Giselle, go at it. Mia and Wendy, this is weird and fun. Husbander, Robin won't get out of bed. Like all of this stuff, I feel like is just exactly the energy that I'm into.
Yeah. Yeah, last season arguing with all the fans, and like if you said you were like Team Candace, all these Monique fans would come at you and vice versa. It was very draining. You're completely right about that.
It is funny though, because I feel like some people really can't move on, especially like I think the Monique people, even though she left the show by choice, I think they still feel like they have to like fight for her. And so I like posted a clip of Candace's new song, which I think is like really catchy. And people were like, this is disgusting garbage. Like I would never listen to such a song. And it's like, just say it's not your favorite.
They take it way too seriously sometimes.
I know.
Like visceral reactions to housewife opinions that they don't agree with. It's so entertaining to me.
Yeah, I feel like that's something, doing like Bravo related stuff for my job, like I have to take a step back and be like, it doesn't matter that much. Like all I care about is having like interesting things to talk about and to post about. And so I'm like, I'm here for whatever. And like I don't particularly care that much, like one way or the other. It's just like make it entertaining. That's all I
Yeah.
need.
Yeah, totally. And Dylan, before we dive into the recent episodes, we wanted to know what your favorite non-Real Housewives Bravo show is.
Okay, so I feel like this has shifted because at one point I definitely would have said Vanderpump Rules, and like the classic seasons still, like put them in the Hall of Fame, whatever. I'm interested to see where it goes this season, but I have mediocre hopes. Lately, I would say Family Karma, just because I think it's so fresh and exciting. And I'm really sad that their season is already over. I thought they were going to get like 12 episodes at least, but I think they have done such a good job of really bringing it this season. And like the way the like older generation, like the aunties and stuff, the way they've been like carrying their own scenes, I did not expect that, and it's been like so much fun to watch.
Yeah, I love the family dynamic, seeing like the aunties and then like the kids. I think, yeah, it's a really good show. It's not a lot of drama, but it's like good like family drama and just like fun.
Yeah.
And fun fact, I met Amrit over 4th of July, which was kind of cool.
Oh my gosh. That okay, also that is a hot cast. Like they have
Yeah.
some attractive people in that cast, and I feel like they don't get like
Bali, oh my God.
oh, Bali's like hot mama.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah.
I haven't met any of them in person. They a couple of them were like, come to our premiere party, and it was in Miami on like a Wednesday night, and I'm like, I no, but thank you.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That sounds fun.
I'm still on the first season of Family Karma.
It's a good watch, and there's not that many episodes, so it's easy to catch up.
Yeah, you got to catch up, and I feel like it's one of those shows where, like you were saying, Michael, like there's not that much drama, but it's really like real, like the issues and stuff, because it's like real relationships and like parental issues, but there's not as many like storylines in quotes as like a Housewives show where it's like, I'm working on my book deal and like I'm working on my candle. Like
it's kind of refreshing.
Yeah, it feels more like down to earth in a way.
Yeah.
Even though there are still some like ridiculous moments.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wish they would though, because I actually have like many questions.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll get like a 3-part New York reunion instead for this boring season.
Oh God. Well, what do we want to get into Potomac first, since we were just talking about that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. So what do we think about this whole Juan and Robin, like this Robin being tired, like storyline? I kind of don't think Juan is like going about it the best way. I feel like he's like being like super unsupportive.
I totally agree. Like Robin is struggling, and I think, it's one thing if it takes Juan like a second to get on the same page, but it feels like this is an ongoing thing, and it's like, ask her what she needs. Like ask her, make her feel supported. Don't make her feel like guilty for being in bed.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add because I agree with everything you both just said. But I've never been a Juan fan, period.
Okay. So were you not excited when they got engaged again?
No, I think he has the personality of a wood chip.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I feel like their relationship is built on like their history with each other, which it's not like that's not nothing, but at the same time, like I don't always feel like they're like super currently in love with each other.
Yeah, I felt like Robin's more into him than he is into her.
Yeah, I feel like that's a common like housewife issue, that it's like it feels like a Ramona and Mario dynamic, not like overall, but how Ramona was always like, I love my husband so much and we're so hot for each other for 19 years, and then he's like stooping someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was like one of the only times I've ever really felt bad for Ramona because most of the time I can't freaking stand her.
Right, you're like one
Yeah.
little ounce of compassion.
Very little.
Just this once, you get it
Yeah.
from me.
So what do we think about Wendy's candle business? Because it just kind of feels like, okay, I'm on the show. It's my sophomore season. I'm gonna start a business because I can market it on the show. I feel like that's all it really is.
I agree. I think the thing for me is that it doesn't feel like connected to anything else we know about her. Like,
Mhm.
I feel like a lot of the time the product lines that these women do are sort of like a spin-off of, you know, a personality trait or something we know they talk about or are interested in. And like this just feels very like, so I've decided to do home goods. And it's like, wait, what? Like, if you don't want to be like a professor, that's cool. Like that makes sense to me. But like you could do like some kind of like social justice-y product line, or I don't like, I just feel like there are other lanes that would make more sense. But at the same time, I'm like, you know, if you want to do it, do it.
Yeah.
The world needs candles.
Yeah, it felt very out of left field to me. When she, especially when she said, I want to be the Black Martha Stewart. That's like a total respectable goal, but it's just so random. That feels like a lifetime goal and dream to be the Black Martha Stewart. And I remember Mariah Huck from Married to Medicine verbatim saying that exact line, I want to be the Black Martha Stewart. And that hasn't happened. So I really like Wendy. I agree. This just feels so out of place.
I forgot about Mariah.
I love Mariah. Love her.
What was her, did she ever even make a product? Like what was the angle there? I can't even.
Made like some little workout bars called like brown
Oh,
sugar or brown cinnamon, something like that. I can't remember.
I'm sure yeah, no, like honestly, the closest we've gotten is Portia with her sheets. Like that's Martha Stewart-ish. I don't
Yeah,
know how the sales are, but I own them. They're good.
I do too. They're on my bed right now.
They're really soft.
I know. I love them. It was a good $50.
I know. I'm like, I don't care where I buy sheets from. Like, all I want is for them to be decent, and they were.
Yeah,
So go
exactly.
Portia.
And it just also felt to me with Wendy like she was copying Tiffany Moon a little bit. Because Tiffany Moon from Dallas also has her own candle line. But correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Tiffany launched that before being a Dallas housewife, or did she do it after?
I think she did hers like after she knew she was going to be on the show, but before the show started airing. So
Oh,
like it felt a little more organic just because it was like, oh, Tiffany's a new housewife and she's selling candles. So
and she kind of related her like medical background into the candles too.
yeah, because they all have the anesthesia flavor scents.
Yeah, I don't.
I have
like,
one right here. It's a.
Yeah, I think she branded.
This one's
those.
propofol. It smells really good.
I know. I want to get one.
Dylan, does it do anything that normal candles don't do?
No, so they have. It's just like a scent, and then she gave them like medical names, but then they have like a cute. The label has. They make it look like it's like a medicine label,
That's
but
cool.
it's like the active ingredient is tranquility. So no, I mean it's a candle, but it's
but
cute.
she branded that in a way that made sense.
Yeah.
Right, there's a concept there besides just like Zen Wen.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God. If we had made a drinking game out of Zen Wen, we'd all be dead. Like she said it so many times.
Yeah, I mean, the whole second season housewife thing is always a little bit tricky because it's like, are you going to really up your game? Are you going to change anything about how you're portraying yourself? And I feel like Wendy is going like a little too hard right now. It's like, okay, like you don't need to like have a nickname for yourself and have a new business and have a new body, which she looks great. But like, it feels like she really is trying to like overhaul. And I feel like everybody liked her first season for the most part. So
yeah,
I think she could kind of like tone down the like 4 degrees-ness, but still be like more true to herself. And it feels like she's reaching a little bit.
Yeah, it went from talking about her 4 degrees to now talking about Zen Wen.
Right. Like you gotta if you're gonna have like a journey, it has to feel, you know,
Yeah.
natural.
And I don't think any of us are really buying the Zen Wen thing because it feels like she's been like so triggered by Mia anytime they've been together.
Yeah, that's a strange dynamic. Like, I feel like I'm still really getting a feel for Mia. Like,
Mhm.
you know, we really just met her, and her introduction to the group was a little strange because we saw that Karen was kind of like being misleading about Wendy's response to inviting her. And like, I think Mia is like the perfect housewife on paper because it's like she's like rich and hot and has the husband and the kids and the business, and she seems really like, you know, kind of petty and like good with a comeback. And like, I'll be interested throughout the season to see if she really like keeps it up, or if it's just kind of like, oh, you were like, you seemed fun, but I don't know if it's gonna work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so far I'm really loving her, but yeah, I want to obviously give her that full season to see how things work out. But obviously, she's not gonna back down from drama. So in that sense, I'm here for it.
Totally.
And speaking of Mia, do we like fully believe about this like strip club with ball gowns place that she worked at?
I was talking about this earlier. I was like, I don't have enough knowledge of, you know, those types of establishments to know like what exactly is realistic or not. But like, I always have thought it's bizarre and like frustrating how much people love to throw around like stripper as an insult on these shows. Like, it's just stupid. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
But so I appreciate that she's acknowledging that she wasn't just like a bartender, because like, duh. But at the same time, I want to know, but I feel like she's never gonna, you know, like, these women obviously want to kind of like figure out what her deal is, but she's not gonna be like, she's not gonna say anything that makes her look bad at this point. I feel like she has like her story that she's sticking to. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, she's not comfortable with them yet.
Totally. I often think with the housewives, it's like somebody will be on like their second group event and they're trying to like pick apart their entire like marriage and life and career and kids and all of this stuff. And it's like, when I meet somebody for the second time, I'm like barely getting a second drink with them, let alone like spilling my guts.
Especially when it's an entire group of people that you've never met. Well,
Yeah.
not really.
And then we also got to see Dorothy, aka Candace's mom. I usually find Dorothy really irritating and mean to Candace. However, I really agree with her. I think it's a horrible idea that Chris is managing Candace.
Yeah. I'm rooting for Candace in all her career aspirations. I think she has like a good thing going right now. You know, she's doing some acting, she has music coming out. I I worry that Chris is not the person that's going to help her take that to the level she wants it, because he doesn't actually have that, like, that's not his skill set exactly. So I feel like he is a very supportive partner to her, but I feel like that is, I don't know if it even really makes sense business wise, let alone if it's like healthy.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all to mix your husband with your business, especially when he doesn't really have that background. So
Yeah,
I
Right.
definitely agree.
that's the only way I could justify her hiring her husband as her husbander, is if he had like tons of experience in their entertainment industry.
I do want
I,
him to cook for me. I feel like his food always looks delicious.
no, it
So
does always look really good.
I'm about to pretend to be a bonus kid so I can go eat Chris's
Not the
food.
bonus kid.
I do
But
like seeing Candace in that kind of like sort of maternal role. It's like a nice, I feel like we're seeing kind of like a level-headed side of Candace so far this season, which is nice because last season I think she got caught up in a lot of nonsense.
yeah, it is nice to see her in that like softer light. And I've always really liked Candace, but yeah, it's good to see that. And I, on the other hand, do love Dorothy. She's one of my favorite housewives moms. I love anytime we get to see her. So
Yeah, I think Dorothy and Candace have like a super complex relationship, even obviously even way before we saw them on the show. But I feel like right now they're in a pretty good place, and Dorothy seems to be, actually wanting what's best for Candace, and not trying to like sabotage her. So I don't know. I hope Chris and Candace do well because I do like them together. I think they're a good
Yeah,
couple.
I love their relationship as well.
Totally.
I also think Chris is one of the hottest housewife husbands personally.
Oh, that's an interesting take. I feel like he's like everybody's like Mauricio, Evan, like the same people, and like
Yeah, I know.
Chris is like a fun surprise.
Yeah, I mean, my fiance is also bald with facial hair, so
Oh, okay.
I
So
might have a little bit of a type, but I also like Chris's eyes and his personality. I just think he's like really great overall.
totally. I mean, if that's totally a type, but also like I get it. So
Yeah, he's not like up there for me, but he's not like bad looking for me either.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like I would.
Mauricio's a little overrated for me personally. Like, obviously, he's super
Mhm.
hot, but he's so like, he always just seems so high and sounds like he needs to clear his throat. And he just like, he, he's just not the hottest to me.
I feel like people get really like boring with their hot house husband choices because
Mm.
there's not like that many good ones to pick from in the grand scheme of things. So people just get really like basic with their choices. My personal number one would probably be Jeremy, Deandra's husband.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, I like him.
I think he's very handsome.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He's up there for me as well.
And I love their relationship too. I almost put her in my top 5 and then I had to like reassess, but I like
I
Deandra a
know.
lot.
I've always loved her, and like she always got hate until like finally this season. I feel like people are starting to like her more.
Yeah, now that Leanne's gone, she can like breathe a little bit.
Mhm.
And speaking of Deandra, her mother, Mama D, followed our Instagram today, so we're pretty stoked about that.
That was the
I'm
highlight of
jealous.
our day.
I don't think she follows any of my accounts, but I do love Mama G. She's another one. I feel like she and Dorothy are kind of similar, where it's like
Mhm.
at the end of the day, I think they want what's best for their daughters, but sometimes the road to get there is not pretty.
Yeah.
Could you see Mama D hitting Deandra in the head with a purse?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Honestly, yeah.
Deandra. At that, like when she was what was the party this season when she was like calling her like stupid, or I don't know. Yeah, I could see her hitting her with the purse
Oh,
for
that was
sure.
at Tiffany's birthday party.
Or maybe with like a bottle of the like hard night good morning, the soft pouch. Like
Oh my God.
And then for Real Housewives of New York, should we move on to that next or Beverly Hills?
Yeah, we can do New York because I think that'll be pretty
Okay,
quick.
awesome.
I was surprised to see that the Salem trip is like already over because the Hamptons trip was like so many episodes, and I thought they'd really milk this Salem trip, but I guess not.
I need them to get back to the city though. I feel like this season it's hard because it's COVID and they're like
Yeah.
trying to do what they can, but like these endless trips, it just feels like nobody is like settled. Like I don't want to see them in a hotel room and
Hmm.
then like going on an outing every single day. I want to see them like hanging out and living their lives. And I feel like this season it's just been so like choppy. And I know
Yeah.
they had to like quarantine and stuff a couple times, but it just feels like there's no like momentum. And there I
Mhm.
still feel like nobody knows each other. Like
Yeah,
I
and
don't know.
I don't necessarily think it's a bad cast. Honestly, I think it's more to do with COVID and the fact that there's only 5 full-time housewives. Like I said, I always think there should be like at least 6 or 7. So
Totally. I don't think the people in this cast are bad. Like I think yeah, like they just need kind of more substance. Like I think if there was another person that was kind of on Leah and Ebony's level,
mhm.
I think that would make it feel a lot more balanced. And I don't know if Bershawn was kind of supposed to be that person, but she's kind of like she feels like sort of a wild card. Like she's just there to cause chaos.
Yeah.
And I like her vibe. Like I think she seems fun, but I don't really know if she's clicking with anyone yet.
Yeah, I like her for the drama, and I like that she was able to apologize to Sonia, and I felt like it was sincere and apologize to the whole group, really. But yeah, I don't necessarily know that she's clicking with anyone. It doesn't even really seem like her and Ramona are really friends. So I don't know.
No, not at all. It's like totally Ramona, like we've talked about, trying to show that she's not racist by saying, "Look, I have a black friend."
Mhm.
And Bershawn and Sonia getting into a physical altercation was not something that I would have ever seen coming. Sonia's not a house, she's not like a Jersey girl. She's not Teresa. We've never like seen Sonia like get like this with another woman.
Yeah, Sonia is one of those people where like she drinks a lot and then she has like a loud mouth, like she loves to just kind of like yell, but it's usually not so targeted with like against one person. Like it's not how like, you know, two housewives will have like a screaming match with each other. Like usually I feel like Sonia is just kind of like shouting into the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's never
And
like
so to see her so like heated directly at Bershawn just felt kind of out of character for her. I don't know if, I mean, I don't necessarily think it's like, oh, she drank so much and it's scary. Like, I feel like in that situation, like, she just got drunk, which was kind of the point. I don't know. I do
yeah,
think it's
I
hard to like, we don't see Sonia obviously outside of the show. And like, I don't know if she's telling the truth about like not drinking when she's alone or when she's, you know, just like on dates and stuff. Like, it's hard to know.
yeah, because like for me, if I was on a show like this, obviously at group events and parties, I'm going to be drinking, but that's not my everyday life. So yeah, you don't really know. And I thought the whole intervention was honestly really poorly executed, one, and unnecessary too. I just thought that was just like a reach.
That was one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and it just felt like on top of the setting being bad and like it felt kind of thrown together. Like I just feel like if Sonia was gonna hear that message and appreciate it, I know that they're on the show together, but like I don't think Luann and Ramona are ever the people that Sonia is gonna want to hear that from. Like I think, I mean, Ramona drinks plenty. We know, we see her on the show. Luann like just stopped drinking a few months ago. Same with Leah. I think it's just one of those things where like I think Sonia has people in her life that she can be more real with that aren't on the show, but like at this point, I don't think she likes Ramona that much. Like I think they have their moments where they have fun together, but like I don't think Sonia feels that like ride or die energy from Ramona. So like if somebody's gonna really have a heart to heart with you about your life situation, like I don't know. I don't think that person is Ramona Singer.
Definitely not.
I think Sonia is almost a little embarrassed by Ramona at this point.
As she should
Yeah.
be.
And especially with all of the, you know, with all of the moments with Ebony this season and the conversations about race and stuff like that, like Ramona is embarrassing herself, is embarrassing because it's like they all must know that like now the show is gonna come out and they're gonna be like having these cringeworthy conversations where Ramona's acting a fool. And like if I were, you know, Ebony or Leah or something, I'd be like, I don't want to, like this episode is gonna be so like, you know, like problematic. Like it would be frustrating to be kind of in that situation and like watching that go down.
Yeah, Ramona's not even trying. She just doesn't want to have the conversation because she knows she's on the wrong side of history and she's not going to change that, and it's just kind of frustrating.
Yeah. And also Luann really like pissed me off this episode as well when she was like on her high horse hating on Sonia, saying like she can't behave like that. I never did anything that bad. And I was like, did you forget you assaulted a police officer and
Like you kicked a cop, ma'am.
Yeah.
Sonia broke the glass on a fire extinguisher. Like,
I know.
man, come on. Like that was so cringe.
They all acted like that was like the worst thing ever. All had crazy outbursts. Like I didn't
Right,
see
like
where any of them were coming from.
to me that was like a similar type of vibe to like Luann falling in the bush. Like it was something that was, you know, a drunken, you know, you acted out and like you could have gotten hurt, which obviously is not good, but like to me it was not so serious that it was like this woman is gonna, you know, ruin herself because she can't keep it together. It's like, okay, maybe she should have less to drink next time, but like I don't think that's an intervention moment, especially coming from them.
Yeah, exactly. And I hated how they like when they, because we had a to be continued, and instead of like just continuing the fight, they had to like flash back to it. I'm like, that was weird to me.
That was strange. I mean, I like when they get clever with the editing sometimes. Like I think it
Mhm.
can work really well, but in that situation, it was just like, why didn't we just watch that scene play
Yeah,
out?
especially when you force these to be continueds on us every week.
Oh, I don't know. I would have to go back and look, but I feel like they didn't used to do it that much.
I
No.
think it's, yeah, no. I
I
mean, it's fine like once or twice a season, but now it's just like way too much.
Well, as somebody who can admit to watching unhealthy amounts of Bravo reruns during the pandemic, I can assure you there were no seasons with like 5 to be continueds in a row.
Hmm.
Right. It's like it has to be earned. Like in
Yeah.
Beverly Hills, that moment when Erica shows up to like the first time after she filed for divorce and she walks in the door and slams the door shut, like that's a to be continued.
Yes.
But like, you know, Sonia and Bershawn yelling at each other when we just met Bershawn like 2 weeks ago, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm good.
You said it perfectly. It needs to be earned.
Yes, Dylan, you speak our language. We love it.
Well, speaking about Erica, should we just move on to Beverly Hills?
Let's do it.
Yes, Beverly Hills, the season's amazing, and we are now being punished this current week with no episode of Beverly Hills. What the hell? Like we get the mid-season trailer and then we just don't get an episode after that.
I know. It's like, and everybody tries to like come up with the reason. They're like, I remember last year when New York took like a few weeks off in the middle of the season, they were like, the rumor has it that, you know, Ramona says something so problematic that they're, you know, scrambling to figure out how to re-edit it. And it's like, I think they just like took a few weeks off.
Yeah, I'm like, it's not that deep. And especially because it was filming or it was airing during COVID, I'm sure they had to
Yeah.
like, take time to quarantine or whatever. I don't know, but
I
I don't.
think as like Bravo fans, I think we overthink things sometimes.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like we're all doing that with all this Erica stuff right now. It's like, it's impossible to watch it and not try to like find clues everywhere and like piece all the information together. And it's like, we're never going to know exactly what she knew. And as much as that pains me, we have to be like at peace with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like people are like taking this Erica stuff like super like deep. And it's awful what happened to the victims. I'm just like, I wish that people like yeah, again, like we don't know what Erica did, but I feel like we need to hold Tom a little bit more accountable than just like talking about Erica. And I get she's on the show and he is not like featured, but I feel like I don't see enough like hating on Tom.
Mm-mm. And
That's true. Yeah. I think it's hard because it's like Erica's giving us so much material to like dissect, whereas like Tom's not on a TV show. So it's
Yeah,
like I'm not seeing him like, you know, explain anything. So, but I do think you're right. Like the most important thing to remember is like how messed up the whole situation is. And like, you know, Erica having like one less glam person at the end of the day is like funny, maybe, but like also it's like get the victims their money, please.
yeah,
However,
exactly. And hopefully with the sale of their house, that's like $10 million. I don't know how much total is owed, but at least that will be something.
I know. I just hope people get their money. It's
Yeah.
sad.
yeah.
And I know like Erica makes money on her own, but at the end of the day, it is fair that she has to pay back because, you know, she's been getting money from Tom for however long. So it is fair that that money does go back to them. So
Yes. And speaking of things that Erica is saying goodbye to, we saw her saying farewell to her clubhouse where we'd seen so many memories of her and her glam squad getting ready. So that was seemed like it was really bittersweet for her. I always have enjoyed seeing her glam squad together until I learned where that money came from that paid for them.
You know,
Yeah,
I saw it when Erica was in Chicago. I went and saw it,
me too.
and Mikey was sitting like the same row, like a few seats down for me, and I'm like, wow, I'm sure he's so proud. Uh,
What did you
like
think
he,
about the show? Because I actually thought she was really good, but that maybe I was biased.
no, I thought she was solid. Like
Yeah.
I've seen Chicago on Broadway one other time, obviously when she wasn't in it, and like, you know, I don't think anybody, you know, she's not like an incredible singer, but I thought
Yeah.
she pulled it off. And like, Chicago is the kind of show where like you're supposed to have fun with it and it's supposed to
Mhm.
be kind of silly. And I thought she did a really good job. I was at that point, I was like, I was pleased. It was better
Yeah.
than I expected.
Yeah, I was like nervous for her. Like, I don't know how she's gonna do, but yeah, I thought she did pretty good. And that's coming from somebody that's not super theater background, but I enjoyed it. So
Well, I have not seen Erica Jane on Broadway in Chicago, and I'm very jealous. That freaking
Well, you know what? Neither did Tom. So
I share.
yeah, there, you have that in common.
Yeah, well, that's the only thing I share in common with Tom Girardi.
I was glad that Erica finally was honest about that, about how it was like shitty that he didn't come to see her.
Yeah.
Because last season, when she had to act like it was normal, that was like, oh, he wanted to come at the end. It's like, you were
What?
in this show for like 3 months. Like, come on. He has a private plane. Please.
I understand why Erica was so respectful of him. And I understand because I know she had to explain her relationship so much with the age difference. And I think she did really want everyone to think they had a good relationship. And she, you know, if she bashed him, then she'd have to explain more. So I get it, but I'm really liking, you know, whether she's lying or not, I am enjoying her being a lot more open this season than previously.
Yeah.
Totally. Like, I think there are certain things where, like, I don't know if I believe every detail of every story, but some of the stuff that she's saying about how he would treat her, it feels like objectively true. It's like, yeah, he was like kind of an asshole sometimes. And it's nice that you can say it now because, like, we all saw it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and whether she knew or not, I have a hard time thinking that he really kept her in the loop on a lot of his like legal stuff because again, she was kind of like a trophy wife. Like, you know, what
yeah,
does
I
she
agree.
know? Like, what does she, you know, why does she need to know? So I don't know. I have a it's kind of going back and forth for me.
I really appreciate that Eric is like finally giving us all this like juicy information, but I have so many questions about Tom's car accident. Like, was he laying there for 12 hours? I thought he was unconscious. Like, what happened? Like,
Yeah.
very confusing.
I need like I need like a reenactment. Like, I need like an SVU style, like we see like the car and then like somebody goes and finds it and then like Erica shows up. Like, I want I need like a visual of what she was describing, because in my mind I'm like, okay, so there's the cliff and the car and Tom's there in 12 hours. There she thinks there's another woman. Like, I don't know. There was
Yeah.
so many details.
And her just like using her finger on the table was not enough for me.
She needed to get like the salt shaker and be like, okay, so Tom's car is the ketchup.
Yeah. The pancake cake.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that could have been the house, like in driven. He could have pretended driven
Like,
on that.
Yeah.
Kathy's like stale bread basket.
Oh my God. I was wondering if that's how she told it or like it was edited in a certain way. I don't know. But yeah, it was confusing.
Yeah, it
That's
was
true. Like,
weird.
the editing, you never quite know, but at the same time, like, I feel like I mean, if they made it shorter, it probably was even more confusing when she told the story. Like, if they edited it down, it'd probably just get harder to understand.
Yeah.
We would have been so lost.
Yeah, I mean, they showed Sutton being confused by the story, but I'm wondering, like, if there were any other housewives in their confessionals, like, kind of scratching their heads, like, what the hell really happened?
Yeah, it's interesting to see as they kind of get more information who is like willing to ask the questions and like be confused, and who's kind of just like, okay, we're here for you, whatever's going on. Because
Yeah.
like, I feel like that's very like Kyle and Rinna are more on the side of just like, Erica's been through so much, whereas like Sutton and like kind of Dorit are a little more like, what's going on here? Like there's a lot going
Yeah.
on. And like
Yeah.
I think Dorit, obviously we've seen her be supportive like on social media and stuff. So I don't think she's like accusing Erica of anything, but I would be curious. Like if I was in that friend group, I'd be like, explain this page 6 article. I want to know that
Or I'd
your
be like,
assets are frozen, honey.
and then I'd be like, who leaked this to Radar Online?
Oh my God.
Exactly. Like I feel like I always would just be like, okay, like enough talk. Like who said this?
Hmm.
Yeah. And I want to get both of your opinions on Kathy Hilton. Like she's obviously really hilarious. But like every time I post about her on my TikTok, people are like, it's all an act, it's all an act. And like a part of me believes that, but the other part of me is like Kyle's been on the show for 11 years. Like Kathy has had like ample opportunity to come on the show. Like why would she wait so long to come on and have a fake persona? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's like I do think it is like good PR for her to be like on the show having fun because you know like all the like Paris stuff with the documentary and the abusive school, like all that happened and kind of didn't make Kathy look so good. I don't think it's an act though. I think it's just that she is coming on and truly being like, this is just for fun for me. Like I can do whatever I want and like be as silly as I want. And like she doesn't need to be there. Like it's not like some of these other women where they're kind of like, I have to earn my spot.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
she just feels really like loose.
Yeah. I think it's a mix. I think like most of the moments are genuine, especially with Kyle this last episode and with the bread and stuff. I thought that was like fun and like I didn't think it was like not genuine. I think the hunky dory thing, I'm like, I have a hard time believing she like doesn't know that term. But I think that's just like her personality. I don't know. I'm like mixed feelings about her, but I love her on the show. I think she's good comedic relief. Do I think she'll ever like be full time? Probably not, but I think she's a solid friend of.
Yeah.
Totally. And I like how much she is actually there because I feel like when they announced that she was going to be a friend, you don't know kind of what that means. And it's like, okay, like maybe she'll pop up every few episodes, but she's really at all of the group events. So
Yeah.
it's fun to see her actually get into it. And I feel like she's actually getting to know the other women more versus
Mhm.
just kind of like being Kyle's sister who comes to her parties sometimes.
Yeah. And I don't really ever see her like getting involved in drama, but it is nice seeing her around.
Totally.
Yeah, and I loved seeing her house that looked like a
Oh,
castle.
it
Yeah.
looks like the most beautiful country club is
Yeah.
like her house.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And her dog's named Sue. That cracked me the hell up.
Oh,
I know, like she just seems, I don't know, she seems like a fun person to hang out with. I want to hang out with Kathy.
yeah. I would love to hang out with her. Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you coming on and taking the time to chat with us.
Of course,
Um,
thanks for having me. It was fun.
and then if you just want to plug your Instagram, your podcast, whatever you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram at Dylan Hafer and throw a follow to at Bravo by Betches. If you're listening to this podcast, I'm sure you would love it. And then wherever you're listening to this, you can listen to my podcasts, Mention It All about Bravo, and Pop Alarm, which is daily pop culture news.
Awesome. Thank you so much.